Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Watch to Talk with the Omega Enthusiast. On today's episode, I will be doing a review on Omega case model KO2652. This case model was first introduced in 1952 and lasted to the end of 1953. This is the very first Omega constellation to hit the market. So now that you know, the first generation constellation is under the case model 2652. Since I cannot locate the exact release date, I can only guess maybe 26 represent February 6 and 52 represent year 1952. What do you think? Can leave your comment below. In this review, we are fortunate enough to view this timepiece in almost new old stock condition. It may appear like new in the video, but thoroughly examine the timepiece, you will find some very light hairline scratches on the case. The first thing to look at is the dial. There are several dial types and many dial tones for this case model. You have the regular plain dial and you have the pie pen type dial. Within these two types of dial, they may exist with and without the texture finish. Texture finish refers to the waffle or honeycomb finish on the dial. The full dial may have this texture, or texture may apply only within the minute track or on the outer side of the minute track. This dial will exist with a few different hour index type. The current type on this dial is called broad arrowhead index, and here are other examples. On the tip of each hour indexes, aside from the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock, you will see a dot instead of a dash. If you see a dash instead, that is an indication of a refinished dial or dial bin swap. Depending on the dial index type, below or in between the 6 o'clock index, you may see the word Swiss or Swiss made. And above the dial, below the word Omega, you will see the word automatic, and below that will say chronometer, and below chronometer will say officially certified. Notice chronometer is spelled with RE instead of ER. The next thing to review is the case of this model. KO2652 comes in a 3-piece case where the bezel can be removed and the case back can be unscrewed open. This case will exist in full steel, two-tone, and in 14 or 18K solid gold. Regardless of what the case material is made of, the case back medallion is always in solid gold. On the two-tone version, the bezel will also be made of solid gold and the lugs are gold cap. The full steel or two-tone version will have easy spring bar release hole on the lugs, whereas the solid gold version will not have these holes on the lugs. Any idea why I use KO instead of CK2652 for this video? Well, KO represents a two-tone model on a 3 to 5 digit case model number. CK represent full steel with the exemption of the gold case back medallion, and OT would represent 14K or 18K solid gold. But honestly, you do not need to remember these abbreviations unless you want to become an Omega enthusiast like me. Examining the unpolished bezel, you will see that there is a bevel. Majority of the time, this bevel will not show or is very fade on the gold bezel. It could be the cost of machine polish or a lot of hand polishing with the polishing cloth over the years. The 8 star on the case back medallion represent 8 precision record that Omega set at Kew Teddington and the Geneva Observatory during the mid-20th century. If you're interested to learn about the Teddington star Omega 30T2 model, click on the link above. Buying a constellation with a few faded case-back medallion star is better than one with a couple star polished away. A case-back with missing star will affect the value of the watch quite a bit, so take that into consideration the next time you buy a constellation watch. There are two crown types that comes with this case model. You have the 10-sided crown or the clover type crown. The case dimension of this watch measures 35 millimeters across excluding the crown by 41.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. Case thickness is 8.3 millimeters excluding the crystal and by 10.8 millimeters thick if you include the correct original crystal. The crown is 5 millimeters wide and 2.6 millimeter thick. The lug width on this watch is 18 millimeters. The crystal type is a low dome acrylic crystal with the metal tension ring and has the Sine Omega logo in the center. On the outside of the case back, you will only see a case back gold medallion and the 6 groove. If you see the word Constellation on the case back, that is a different case model with similar case design. To learn about the different models of 1950s Constellation, click on the link above. There are two types of case back design as well for this case model. Here are how they look. In order to open this case back, you will need a JAXA case back opening tool to unscrew the case back open. Or you can use this case back opening ball, which I'll show you in a short bit. I added a link in the description box below if you guys are interested to purchase this tool. And inside the case back, as always, you will find the case model number. Note that originally, the case back gasket is made of soft metal instead of rubber gasket. Over the years of closing and opening the case back, some watchmaker will replace this metal gasket with our modern day's rubber O-ring gasket. In that matters, the flat O-ring gasket will sit on the case back instead. Next, it is time to review the movement that is inside this watch. Omega 2652 will come with the following two movement caliber: a chronometer version 354 bumper automatic movement or the luxury finish version with caliber 352. Both caliber will come with 17 jewels and has a sign, adjusted 5 position and temperature automatic weight. Caliber 354 will have a regular swan neck regulator, whereas Caliber 352 RG will have a luxury finish RG regulator. Both caliber will be just as precise when the service job is done correctly. For the movement to sit in place, there's a pin on one side of the movement, and on the opposite side, there's a case clamp and case clamp screw. Sometime during a service, the watchmaker may lose this tiny pin without knowing. You can always watch this video from the link above to understand how this pin looks and how it sits into the case. The link above will also educate you on the type of leather strap and class that originally came with this watch. The current strap that is on this watch may have been one from a later 50s Constellation, as it is similar to the one from the booklet. This case model will come with the 3x2 combination beads uprights metal bracelet as well. 3x2 combination represent the pattern of the beads, and the abbreviation for beads of rice will be BOR, which you'll see a lot in chat related to vintage watches. The original box for this case model will look something like this, and the type of paperwork that may come along with this watch originally. To learn more about vintage Omega Constellation boxes, you can click on the link above after you watch this video. Here is something special that I saved for last. This is known as the first generation Globemaster. Initially, Omega wanted to name their Constellation line as Globemaster for the American and Canadian market, which is why you may come across some of these 1952 Constellation with the word Constellation missing on the dial. Due to copyright lawsuit with the model name as Globemaster, Omega had to stop this production line, making the unsigned Constellation a rare find this day. So the next time someone asks you what year is the first Globemaster, let them know it is 1952. That's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed watching it, please support the channel by hitting on that thumbs up button below, and do not forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on my next video. If you have any comment or question, please leave them in the comment section below. My website and Instagram links are in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.